Your faith in God should get you horny. What's up, everyone? It's America Plus. I'm your host, Cole McCormick. It's another week, another episode. What's going on, everybody? It's Sunday, March 17th, St. Patrick's Day. 2:57 in the PM. Happy St. Patty's Day, everybody. Happy St. Patrick's Day to one and all. So happy to be here, folks. As an Irishman, as a man from Irish descent, I couldn't be happier to be recording another episode of America Plus on this Irish holiday. So thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. It's green here. We are flowing in the green today. America Plus is your number one stop for innovation, by the way, folks. We are really digging into the narratives that are surrounding us, that are on our feeds. We're trying to figure out what's a healthy narrative, what is good for life, what's something to follow that's healthy for your life, dude. And that's what I'm focusing on this week, every week, pretty much. And first of all, this week has been pretty chill for me. I only had a few days of work. Hang on, whoops, drop my pen. Only had a few days of work, just did my thing there. And I've been trying to figure out how can I be more consistent with my content. You know, I've been talking about doing a new podcast, a second podcast. And I was able to do like some free consulting with this random, it wasn't like random, but here's the annoying story. So I bought some merch in a sweepstakes so that I could possibly win some UFC tickets. Long story short, I did not win the UFC tickets, but I have a t-shirt and a hat coming in the mail from this company. And sure enough, because I gave them my freaking email and everything, they contacted me and they have some sort of media consulting side of the company. And I did some free consulting. I have no money to like pay into the community. But I got like 2 free sessions. And it's good. For me, from my perspective, it was a good thing to just like air out what I've been like doing to a new person who's actually involved with media, because I was able to tell them about value for value, about Bitcoin, about this new system, about the modern podcasting. And they had no idea what was going on. They might be listening. So shout out to Dalton. Dalton, if you're listening, dude, what up, bro? Like, hello to you, sir. This is value for value. This is America Plus, dude. Value for value is the system that we're running on, folks. So if you want to donate with any Satoshis, do that. I'm trying to push that a bit more. And yeah, man, this is... we continue this journey of getting more, just being more consistent with the content, with video. I'm trying to do better with video. I'm trying to get ready for when my podcast host, Pod Home, they're about to, or sometime in the future, they will be hosting video. So, and I want America Plus to be like a full package, you know, because, you know, all the biggest podcasts, you know, they have video, you know. Of course, Adam Curry, he doesn't do video. He's against video. He sees no value in video. But, you know, we got the mere mortals in Australia. They're doing video on YouTube. But there's all this like negative shit about YouTube. Like they're centralized. They can delete you when they don't like your narrative. And so I'm just trying to get myself ready for my own host to be able to host it and to just run with it. So that's what I'm practicing right now. I'm putting this up on YouTube, of course. So if you want to follow the YouTube channel, it's just my name, Cole McCormick. So go to my YouTube, subscribe. And yeah, man, I got nothing else to say about that. It was a good time to have some free consulting. It's always good to have. Free is always good, right? Free is always good. Yeah, and I got nothing else to say about that. What I want to focus on this week has been really interesting on my feeds. I've been trying, as you know, if you've been following the show, I've been trying to figure out my faith. I've been trying to figure out, what do I really believe in? Because ever since I was a kid, I've never been into just saying something. I've never been into like the fake faith, or like growing up in church, you would hear this concept of like, oh, they're a Sunday Christian. You know, they're only a Christian on Sundays at church. And I was never into that. I never wanted to be that. And so even though I'm not in church anymore, I'm still on this journey. And throughout this week, this specific week, there's been a few different Christian storylines or Christian statements that have been put out by a very wide range of people. So I got a series of clips that I want to focus on today. It's 4 clips, one from a rapper, one from a hippie, one from an OnlyFans girl, and the other is from a professor. Okay? And so I think this is really going to connect all the dots. I hope so, at least. And just a wide range of thoughts here, people. Where do I want to start out? So first of all, I guess this sort of started out with the hippie. We'll start with the hippie. Russell Brand, you know, he's famous for his faith, right? He's famous for his journey. Russell Brand, he's on Rumble. He talks like this. Hello, everybody. I'm Russell Brand. He has a he's a positive character, right? He's someone to at least like we can assume that he's on the side of life. Okay, that's why I like him. And he had this little video he put out about his thoughts on Christianity. What has he been thinking about lately? And I just appreciated that he was willing to talk honestly about him. And I think this is a good primer for where we're going into this. So this is Russell Brand on Christianity.
I've been thinking a lot more about Christianity. And what I feel like is a lot of people feel like they're maybe too clever for Christianity, like it's full of parables and fables and inconsistencies. But what I'm starting to recognize is that a personal relationship with an indwelling creator is helping me to look at reality from an entirely different perspective, that rational and material reality are only one facet of total reality. And in the same way that we know we can only see a small section of the electromagnetic light range, while there are other types of light, ultraviolet and infrared, available. And whilst we're aware that there are only certain vibrations that are perceptible to us, I believe that the spiritual perspective makes us sensitive to realities that we cannot otherwise discern. The relationship with an inborn creator present in us that gifts us the ability to access God at any time means that life is literally turned on its head. What are your experiences? Do you come at this from the Christian perspective, from the Muslim, from Judaism, secular humanitarianism?
So this is a great, him being him, the video is silly. He's like standing on his head. And he gives a great invitation to all these different perspectives, because it's important to bring in these different perspectives. Clearly, from the realm of Christianity, there is this concept of God within. And it's not clearly expressed within the religion, but it is a core value of what Jesus taught and what is the reality. I think, from my perspective, he says this inborn creator. And I think what that means is, you know, the creator of the universe, you know, it wasn't born. He wasn't born or something. It's almost incomprehensible. It's paradoxical. God, this concept of God is paradoxical, right? But we have this connection to go within. We have this ability to connect directly, okay? And we can do that through prayer. We do that through meditation. We do that through our actions. And different faith systems have different perspectives on how to connect, man. And that's a true thing. And I hope you agree with it. If you don't agree with it, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, I guess this show isn't for you, I guess, but we're moving further down this path, dude. We are refining it, okay? We are refining this. And the one thing that I really find unique about Christianity, and at least the narratives within Christianity, this seems to be one of the faiths that can be constantly criticized and constantly used, you know, because if like one Christian is different from another Christian, at least in terms of like public life, if you're talking about Muslims in a public life, like there is like one lane of Muslim, you know, and if you're in like another lane of Islam, then like you might not be in the best lane. The media might create new lanes. The media might establish different sides of the faith, but I don't know. At least from my point of view right now, it seems like Christianity, there's a lot of flavors. there's a lot of flavors to people's interpretations of how to be a Christian. And that goes into just the faith, you know, and how authentic your faith can be. This takes me to, I want to focus on the OnlyFans girl because this is hilarious. This is the longest clip that I have. It's almost like 4 minutes, but just to give you a quick primer. So this girl went viral, right? This girl, her name's Nala, and she was on a few podcasts. She was talking about how she loves cheating. Like she had this cheating kink. And this girl was just insane. She was one of these super hot girls who would be willing to just do anything, right? And she has this journey just recently, in the last 2 weeks, she has turned her life to Christ. And there's all these commentators online talking about how, she's turning to God for clout. She's becoming a Christian just to get the Christian money, just to get the Christian eyeballs. And this video or this clip is her testimony, or at least a section of her testimony. The whole thing was 5 minutes long. I did my best to edit out things to just make it to the point. So we're talking about authentic faith here. So listen to this OnlyFans girl and tell me if you think her faith is consistent.
About 4 years ago, I started my OnlyFans because I think truly it was out of pure rebellion. And honestly, I'm such a independent person that I never felt the need for a man to provide for me, have a man in my life to provide for me. So I started OnlyFans about 4 years ago, and I climbed to top 0.01%. I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that the devil can truly give you things in this life. He has a budget though. He can only go so far. So a couple million, okay, great. The devil can do that sometimes, right? But I truly have gifts and talents. I just did not use them in the right way. And I'm reaching out to anyone who's questioning what they should do in their life. And I turn to corn. That's what we're going to call it, okay? So
okay, hang on, pause,
this is just me sharing my
What is that? Hang on. First of all, hang on, dude. I hate that, bro. That's so annoying. Anytime you hear about it, forget about the context. Anyone who's talking about porn on social media, why do they always say corn? It's are all the algorithms, even on Twitter, people even say corn on Twitter. Why do all the algorithms suppress you if you're saying the word porn? But then if you type in breastfeeding on Instagram, you're literally going to see some titties. This is inconsistent, first of all. So it's just annoying to me. Just a little pet peeve. Anyway.
Personal experience with you. So I reached out and did corn for 4 years. And I showed myself all over the internet. I said crazy things on podcasts. If you don't know the I Love Cheating podcast. And so I met this person who's now my partner. And he truly showed me God's love. He was sending me Bible verses, praying over me, and we were just friends. So the Holy Spirit was truly working and moving, but I was in such a rebellion against it because I was God doesn't love me. I've had to work this hard for this many years because no one cared about me. My family didn't care about me. Christianity is a cage. It's not Christianity. It's religion. Religion is the cage. And unfortunately, I didn't have good role models growing up. My parents, my siblings, I didn't have good friends. I truly fell into darkness. And I was, I said, I was top 0.01% creator. That is crazy. That is a crazy milestone to reach in that industry. So I made what I made, I did what I did, but I want to share with you guys the truth of it all, because I am now giving it all up for Christ. I am now truly a believer. I would never take it back. God radically saved me from this darkness. And let me tell you again, the devil has a budget, but God does not. God literally made you. He made this world. He made the heavens. What makes you think that God can't bless you with anything? But the devil will give you these things that trip you up and money in front of your face. and these worldly friends, your family that isn't there for you, but don't be discouraged because God has a better plan for your life. And let me tell you, I have felt and started living that plan. And since then, the money, the fame, the Gucci, Louis, whatever bags, the shoes, the clothing, the huge trips that I've taken doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, do you want to go to heaven or do you want to go to hell? And my soul, I'm sorry, but it's not worth going to hell for at all. And God loves you so much that he's willing to give you everlasting life. You need to understand that your life is very temporary here on earth, and we all have a mission, and that's to preach the word of God. Okay, I love you guys. I just wanted to clear that up and share a little bit of my testimony, but there you have it. Please be nice in the comments, because just remember, you are not here to judge others. God is here to judge, not you. So please be nice, be kind, be loving, bear the fruits of the Spirit. I love you guys. I love you so much, and God bless.
You're not here to judge, but my family sucks ass. Like, what the fuck, dude? Oh, wait, hang on. Hey, hang on. I don't have, oh, wait. You're not, dude, why do I forget that button? I have the soundboard for over a year. I forget where the buttons are. She says not to judge, but she literally judges her family, dude. Like, what is up with that? First of all, so right off the bat, like, people aren't believing her. People aren't taking her as authentic. And her story is weird. Like, she has this guy friend who's, like, praying over her, and then he gets her out of porn or something. Like, okay, I think, like, can we just assume maybe he was a subscriber before he got your number? I don't know. Maybe. It's just suspicious, dude. It's a little suspicious, and it seems a little, and I don't want to judge her, right? We're not supposed to judge, but at the same time, man, like, I'm hearing her words, and I'm looking at what's in front of me, and I'm not sure if she's a real leader in the faith. At least she's expressing herself, But did you find any authenticity in that? Because from my point of view, it seems like it seems like her life is still fucked. I don't have a firm thing to say, because it's just the video, it's just her thing, but clearly people are moving. Like, at least people's thoughts are thinking about God, It's very interesting, dude. It's very interesting. And what I want to happen is for her to have a real experience of like was it God who brought her to God, or was it the guy who brought her to God? And what actions does she do to bring herself closer to God? And that is like the topic of, that's like the focus of the last two clips, okay? Like, we're talking about actions here. I'm trying to, like, narrow it down to our actions, your personal actions, your free will. I believe we have free will. I have free will to choose morality and to choose God, or a principle that is aligned with Jesus's teachings. I have this ability to choose. I can see what is right and wrong. I believe I have an innate sense of that. And along with that, I believe everyone has an innate sense to see right and wrong, I don't have the science to back that up, but that's an instinct I have. And I want to go to another Christian, another quote-unquote Christian, who's faced many allegations, who's faced cancellations, who might just be the most infamous person on earth. The rapper formerly known as Kanye West, better known as Ye nowadays, legally changed his name. And if you don't know what's going on with Ye, with Kanye, he has an album out. It's #1 in the world, #1 song in the world. They've tried to take it off the charts. They have to put it back on because it's literally the most streamed song right now. And he just did an interview with his collaborator Ty Dolla $ign, and they were talking with this interviewer, and the interviewer brought up Kanye's faith, because in 2019, a quick recap of Kanye's faith. He says in 2019 he gave his life to Christ. He was saved in 2019, and then he gets divorced in 2020, and he's been in 2021 and 2022. He's been going off just off. He's off the grid, dude. He goes on Alex Jones. Alex Jones's Alex Jones. Like, he goes above Alex Jones on the Alex Jones show. We already talked about it. Go to those episodes. I already talked about it. And he was like underground for 2023. Now he's back in the year of 2024, the year of the dragon. And he's got this sick album out. And the interviewer asks him, "What about your faith? Where are you at right now, Ye?" Because if you listen to the album, it's a pretty classic rap album. And what I mean by that is, like, he's talking about beautiful big titty but naked women just don't fall out the sky, you know? Like, he's talking about that, dude. He's talking about what rappers talk about. And it's a classic rap album. And so this is Ye talking about his experience going through. First of all, another point to add. When he was getting canceled, he was losing his bank accounts. JP Morgan Chase literally kicked him out of their banking system. And so he's been dealing with an insane amount of issues that I have not dealt with, and only people on his level have the possibility of dealing with. And where does Jesus come into this? Where does Jesus come into real problems in your life when it comes to you getting a divorce, you losing a bank account, you losing sponsors, you losing business deals because of the way you think or because of certain words you say? Where does Jesus come into all this?
At one point, we hear, and this is all you. We hear, Jesus is king. We hear this, but that's all you. Then there's sometimes you just want to say, man, not fuck it, but you just want to say, man, this is what I'm feeling right now. Are you in that space where you're comfortable enough to say, this is where I am right now? I'm still a man of God. Jesus still is king, but this is vultures right now. This is where I am.
It is, but I have my issues with Jesus. There's a lot of stuff I went through that I prayed and I didn't see Jesus show up. So I had to put my experience in this world, my experience with my children, my experience with other people, my experience with my account, my experience with my brand, and my experience with the level of music that I was dealing with in my own hands. Like a lot of times I just feel like in our society in America, people, Christians, we're depend on Jesus so much that we won't put the word in ourselves. And the main thing that really that I don't rock with is like, it's just always like, I'm gonna pray for you. And it's just like, you can actually physically do something yourself too, more than just pray. And we're so in this mentality that's all that needs to happen, but we ain't praying our way out of prison. We ain't praying our way out of the abortion clinics. We ain't praying our way to get our land back that was always ours after gentrification, after the Harlem Renaissance and Black Wall Street was burned to the ground. Them prayers ain't working. We have to apply actual physical building partnerships, and it don't start unless we could really be real with each other and say, this is what I did, this is what I did. Like, I mean, look at this. I know I'm not gonna third rail y'all interview, but look at the power of what happened when me and Kyrie was on the same page. See, that's what's scary. But what they do is they put us each in a silo and say, your grandmother gonna lose her crib, and this gonna, you know how many threats we've been dealt with? And I didn't pray my way through them threats either. I had to get up and do it myself. I had so much to do, I ain't had time to pray. So that's where my issue is, and look at where I'm at today.
How is prayer gonna help any threat? How is that possible? Of course, I'm sure if you've been on a faith journey, you've thought about this. How can your thoughts, how can a prayer, how can a wish affect reality? How can it deal with your problem? Can it help me solve my debt? Can it pay off all my credit card debt? Can praying solve my father's cancer? Or is there going to have to be some physical action that is required to solve any problem like that? And that's some real shit that Ye speaks on. That's what I think is real different. Like, who seems a bit more authentic in their viewpoint? The OnlyFans girl or the rapper? You know what I mean? Like, who seems more real? Who seems like they have at least a more thought out perspective on it, man? Because from my point of view right now, it seems like Ye is like I want to say the man, but not in terms of he's awesome, but he is the man, as in he knows the work. He has experienced what he has experienced, and he is not moving through life naively. So he is the man within that. And of course, he's the best artist living or dead. And I really thought that clip was important to share because he himself is just one of the most famous people on earth, and he's speaking on Jesus. He's speaking on God. People already judged him on not really following God in 2019 in the pandemic, and now he's here, Now he's here. And how many holy people are there, How many true believers are there? You might say something, but what are your actions? What are you really doing? This is a really important thing that even the Bible speaks on, I think it's in the book of James. It comes right after Matthew, Mark. The Gospels go Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, and then the one right after the book right next to them is James, and that's Jesus's brother. He wrote letters. He wrote a book, and he speaks on how faith without works is nothing. And that's a real thing for this life. You can say a lot of things. You can say you're going to do a podcast. You can say you want a better world. You can say you want a more beautiful world. But if your actions do not move towards that, then you are not going there. And so I guess in this moment, Ye is an example of he's had words and he's had intentions and he's actually put in work to get there. He said he would win a Grammy and he got a Grammy. He said he would sell his clothes for $20 and now he's selling everything on his website for $20. He said he would come back stronger after he got canceled, and now he has the #1 album. So that's a physical reality. And I think that's real. I think people need to put that into their viewpoint. They need to put that in their worldview. It just needs to happen because there's too much talk, There's way too many people talking online about how society should be run, how society should be, what's wrong with society. But I'm not really aware of anyone being honest about their own actions. I'm seeing very few people being honest about their own mistakes in their own life. I'm seeing a lot of judgment and a lot of should be conversations, a lot of shoulda, coulda, woulda, and a lot of just commentating on other people's lives, commentating on other people's words. And so it's like I'm trying to put that in my own life, dude. I'm trying to really apply shit to my own life. Like, do you know, in my own life, I don't want to expose anyone, but in my own life, I have I got Breaking Bad episodes right in front of me. I have literally, I'm like Jesse Pinkman, living in North Hollywood. Okay. You have to understand, there's literally opportunities to commit fraud right in front of me. And I'm literally choosing not to do that and choosing to work to pay my bills and shit. Okay? There is, in my own life, opportunities to cheat and steal, and I am doing my damn best to not. Okay? How many people are going to do that? I don't know. How many people are going to be honest about doing that? I don't know. But this takes me to the last clip. And this last clip is from everyone's favorite, Mr. Dr. Jordan Peterson. He was on a podcast a few days ago, actually. This podcast is from this week, I think. This podcast is called The George Janko Show. And George Janko, he's this like Christian, you know, he's like famously Christian. He used to be on Logan Paul's podcast. He would talk about God all the time on Logan Paul's podcast, but then Logan Paul like gave him a bunch of shit, and there was a bunch of drama between them, and then George left, and then he started his own podcast, and now he's got like 1 million subscribers, yada 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 yada. Now he's talking to Jordan Peterson about faith, about God, and I think this wraps it up. At least it's a little bow tie for the week, at least. Jordan Peterson really talks about he sort of complains about how Christians want to talk about God and talk about faith, and I think that this helps me at least to figure these thoughts out.
There's a question you hate, and it's, do you believe in God? And I love your approach on that.
Well, people don't know what they mean when they ask that question. So
I would love you to elaborate on
it's
that.
nonsensical. Well, because what people usually want, Christians do this to me mostly, what they really want is they want me to validate their theory of belief. And they don't even know they have a theory of belief because they think what belief is obvious, and it's not obvious at all. Like, is belief your willingness to verbally assent to the reality of a set of facts? Well, that's what an empiricist would say, or a rationalist. And most Christians who ask me that question are rationalist empiricists, and they don't even know it. And so they want me to say, well, God exists the same way a table exists. And that's just not helpful. That isn't a helpful question. It's not formulated properly. And then there's many other forms of belief. So you can say one thing and do another, right? Then you might say, well, then what do you believe? Do you believe what you say, or do you believe what you did? And I mean, people are full of contradictions like that.
Well,
and so I would say,
I love that.
Generally speaking, what you do is a much more precise and accurate marker of what you believe than what you say. Now, if you were fully integrated, what you say and what you believed would be the same thing. But that's pretty damn rare. And people will say, well, I believe in Christ. And I think, you do you? Really?
Look at your actions.
What's the evidence for that?
You
Are
know
you
them by
moving
their
mountains
fruits.
with your faith? And if you're not, then you might ask, well, just how deep is your belief? Because in principle, if you have sufficient faith, then you can move mountains. And so, and is that literally the case? That's a stupid question.
If you have sufficient faith, then you can move mountains, and I'm not sure. I mean, in the Bible, like Jesus says that, that's a reference to the Bible. That's a reference to a quote from Jesus. When you believe, what is this quote? I'm trying to remember. He says, he's talking to his disciples, and he says something along the lines of, if you truly believe, then your words can move mountains. And there's a lot of interpretation of that and manifestation concepts. And there's the physical reality of like, okay, well, we have a tractor that can move a mountain. We can literally dig a mountain away. We can move it. Like, they're making islands in Dubai, so there's this paradoxical thing going on with that as well. Do your actions align with your words? Do your words align with your actions? Do your thoughts align with your actions? Is there alignment? Is there alignment in your life, in yourself? This is the most important thing, dude. This is the most important thing. And the things that I have to think about is so this is on my mind right now. There are entities in this world that want to suck your energy, and they want to control you through whatever means, whether it be religion or government or some little community group, whatever it is. People want to influence you. And with my observations of these four people, these four people are probably the best examples of them making their own choices. I'm not sure, like the OnlyFans girl, she might blame her family for not being good, and maybe that was why she was rebelling, but it's also her choice. And everything Ye did was his choice. And everything Russell Brand did and does in his life is his choice. And everything Jordan Peterson says and does is his choice. And that goes for the same for me. I live my life with my choices. How do we move forward? How do I? This is all about me, right? This is all about me trying to manifest a better world, a more beautiful world that my heart knows is possible. The only way that can happen is if I am the best version of myself. And so I guess what that means is I'm on this journey of working hard and becoming more of a man and learning from my mistakes and learning from and being honest with what I am learning. I think a lot of people don't want to be honest with what's going on in their life, and therefore they're not learning from anything in their life. And that's a really big deal. I think we need to be learning. We need to be honest about what we're learning. And so I would just want to encourage you, the listener, to figure out what you're learning and to think about if there's I also think about my nephew, Wyatt. Is he getting those lessons too? Is he learning to align himself, to align his thoughts with his words and his words with his actions? Is there alignment in Wyatt's life? And if there is not, that might mean that there is not alignment within my life, within my family's life. And there has to be more alignment. There has to be. And so that's a personal journey, of course. And I'm not trying to influence you one way or another. I'm not trying to make you believe in Christianity or Jesus, but this is where I come from. This is what I grew up in, and this is what I'm thinking through. And the one thing that you can honestly say about Jesus is it seems like his actions were aligned with his words. And so that's why I continue to be confident in going back to that and studying that in some degree, you know? And I hope we can find alignment together. If you can you hear that siren, dude? Dude, we got some fire trucks out there. Got some fire trucks out there, folks. What else we got, folks? That's really all I have. That's the value I got. I want to head on into the value for value section, the boostergrams, everybody. America Plus is a value for value show. What that means is I bring up these concepts, I bring forward these narratives to you up front, and you're able to reciprocate that value in four main ways. You can listen, share, clip, and boost, okay? Just listening and sharing this, talking about this with your friends. If there's a concept that I brought forward, bring it to your people, bring it to your circle, and maybe a good conversation can happen. That is valuable. Share this online. Just share it. Just share the link, share the show, share the YouTube, whatever. You can also clip the show. Fountain, by the way, if you're on the Fountain app.
Go to value4value.info for more info, then download the Fountain.fm app. It's the best way to support the show.
Fountain.fm is one of my favorite modern podcasting apps. So download that. They got a cool clipping feature, so you can clip clips of the show. Or just do like a screen recording, post that online, something, tag me on Twitter, @ColeMcCormick1, Instagram, the same name. I'm everywhere, dude. And the last thing is Boostagrams, the money, okay? There's two main ways that you can support me with money. In the podcast app, you are able to send me small bits of Bitcoin called Satoshis. And if you want to send a message, that's called a Boostagram. Or we also got a PayPal. PayPal's the link for the PayPal is down below. I'm just stacking sats with the Bitcoin, and if you want to support me with dollars, that's going to my future projects. That's going to all the things that I need to pay for on my end for the podcast, the hosting company. It's going towards the documentaries I'm making. I'm focused on this raw milk doc. I'm really going for this raw milk documentary, folks. But I'm going to be reading the messages, all the Boostagrams from last week, all the people who wanted to chime in on number 113, Soul of Cinema. We got a few people here. Got a bunch of people, actually. This first Boostagram comes in from our friend @KyronDown, from the Mere Mortals podcast in Australia. He sends in his regular 1,111 sats, which is a satchel of Richards, by the way. And so him and I were talking about Spanish, you know. And I asked him what a certain phrase meant, and he goes, "Que chevre means how awesome or that's sick," something like that. And then he's talking about my second podcast. Kyron's been helping me figuring that out, by the way. And then he goes, love the focus on stories for children. I'd also recommend The Alchemist if you're doing books in general. Short, powerful imagery, and has a great set of principles floating along as an undercurrent. Well, thank you, Kyron.
Bustar.
I'll definitely check out The Alchemist. Yeah, I'm getting the list of books that I want to do readings for. I'm doing like voice acting for the second podcast. I'm definitely trying to read Peter Pan. I'm reading it for the first time, actually. That's sort of low-key a hard book to read. I was never a reader growing up, but reading Peter Pan, there's a lot of words that I just never use and I've never heard other people use. So hopefully people vibe with that reading of it. This next boostagram comes in from @JoelW. He's sending in a couple of boostagrams. Both of them are Satchel of Richards, 1,111. You can do whatever number you want, though, as well. The number represents you, okay? So send in a number that you like. Joel likes 111. He says, and also last week I was also talking about like film, physical film. I saw Dune last week with an IMAX film. There was like a real film reel flipping through lights in the IMAX theater. It was awesome. Joel W. has to say, whether vinyl, actual film, or even cassette tapes, I find the analog media far more enjoyable. The pops, clicks, random hair on the lens, etc. just give a more organic experience. And no Dune spoilers, please. A rare, Holly weird production I am looking forward to. Yes, sir.
And now, as the French say, it is time for le boost.
Joel, no Dune spoilers. The only review I have on Dune is I'm seeing it again tonight. Dude, that's how good Dune is, dude. I'm seeing it twice. Next one from Joel. Oh, he sent in that one twice, I guess. Next one from Joel. He's commenting on the song that I played last week from Loomba, aka Loomba got 60% of this number. So he sends in another 1,111. Loomba, the artist, got 60% of that, just like the artist I'm playing on this week. They're getting 60% of your Satoshi donation. He says, Loomba got some pipes. Yeah.
Boost.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, Loomba was great. That was a really good song. The River was awesome. I think you'll enjoy the song this week. It's a little funnier. This is like a different vibe. And then the last boostagram from @Ferillis. He was coming in from the Podverse app. Podverse is another modern podcasting app. You can download that. He sends in a 1,500, just a clean 1,500 Satoshis. Thank you, Ferillis. And he says, total agreement on the importance of film. Enjoying the analog side of movie making in meat space is irreplaceable. However, RSS can be a great way to have a voice and reach new eyes in the digital world. God bless. Thank you, sir.
Basically, you put Bitcoin with anything, and all of a sudden, that is more efficient.
Boosting is loving.
Thank you so much, Fearless. Thank you to so much everyone who wanted to donate. That's value for value, guys. That is value for value. If you want to be a part of that community, get a modern podcasting app, download fountain.fm, do Podverse, get Podcast Guru. This is a new system, dude. This is distributing through RSS feeds is the future. And that's why I'm trying to get more up on getting my video up. I'll be putting out like my short films, more movies through RSS. Like that is legit the future, dude. Value for value is the future. And then shout out to Shannon Passy. She was streaming some sats. If you want it, that's also one of the innovations. You can stream Satoshis to me as you listen per minute. So thank you, Shannon. And that's the boostergrams for the week, everyone. What I want to do now, we're going to wrap it up with a song. If you want the full experience of the podcast, download fountain.fm or any modern podcasting app like Podverse or Podcast Guru. You're able to stream small bits of Bitcoin to me and the artist while their song plays. This is a new system. It's pretty much, in my opinion, the revolution of putting out content online. Get those apps. Listen to the full experience. Thanks for watching the whole video.